Okay. Okay, so I think the I think the setting is ready now. Let me pull up my chair. Okay, so the class has started, right? Hi guys. Please say hi. Hi. Hi, Korth. Oh, can you please shift the timing a bit? Oh, I will get to that question in a second. So let's first say hi to everyone. Hi. Hi, guys. Sorry I have to postpone it 30 minutes. Sorry about that. Hi. Okay. Hi, guys. Welcome in. So as the title says, today we're going to learn how to express our thoughts and opinions with the expressions 라고 생각해요 and 것 같아요. So we're going to learn how to make sentence with that. And I saw a question asking if I could change the time of my live classes. And yes, I understand because the time zone in each country is different, right? So I'm trying my best to, sorry about that, find the best time for everyone in the world, but that's practically impossible, right? Because the time zone is so different. There's no such thing as international time, right? In each time zone, the time's different, so it's a bit difficult to adjust the time. But for this week, it's usually 1 p.m. and 10 a.m. Korean Standard Time. But I'll try to see if I can change that in next week's live class. So without further ado, let's get into our lesson. So have you guys checked the description box before joining? The description box below, or the thumbnail. So it gave you a little homework, I would say, to try and figure out the meaning of these sentences, for a little preview. And it's a little difficult, right? But don't worry, we'll get to the full translation and breakdown at the end of the lesson. But for now, you can see that both 고 생각해요 and 것 같아요 expressions are used. And we're first going to start with 고 생각해요 expression. So, let's first look at this one. So, 생각해요 comes from the base verb 생각하다, right? Which means to think. It means to think, right? So, sentence, if you say sentence, 고 생각해요, it means I think like this. I think like this sentence. The content of the sentence is my thought, is the meaning of this. And what we should note first is that the verb here's a verb in the sentence, right? Verb, 고 생각하다. So the form of the verb differs by whether this verb part has an adjective verb or ida verb or just a plain regular verb. So rest of the verbs that we can think of other than adjective or ida, the be verb, right? So depending on which verb it is in this sentence, the form changes. And we're going to learn how to change the form. So in each case, and let's first look at, so we're going to start off with the adjective first because this one is the easiest. Okay, so let's just take this piece of paper first out. Okay, so let me zoom in a bit so that you can see it better. So let's first look at these sentences when there is an adjective verb in this sentence. So here you can see that 저는 제프가 똑똑하다고 생각해요. 저는 제프가 똑똑하다고 생각해요. 저는 생각해요. I think, right? And here is the sentence, right? And then 고 생각해요. Sentence, 고 생각해요, right? So I think this sentence, and we now know how to how to translate, or we understand this what the sentence means, right? 제프가 똑똑하다. Jeff is smart. But isn't an adjective or a verb supposed to be conjugated? Because didn't you say an adjective or a verb cannot be written in its base form? It has to be conjugated to use in a sentence. Yes, but here it is an exception. So for when there is an adjective in a sentence in 고 생각해요, you should write the adjective in its base form. Oh, sorry about that. Let me fix this first. Oh, sorry about that, guys. So it's raw form. The adjective should not be conjugated. You should just leave it as it is. So if you want to say, I think Jeff is smart. For this verb part, if it's an adjective, then you should leave it as, oh, what's wrong with that? What's wrong with my light? Oh, here you go. It's better, lighter, right? There's more light to it. Okay, so you should leave it as it is. Of course, if the adjective is in present form, I'm talking about the present form, guys. So if the verb is in past and future tense, it's going to get different, but we're going to learn that later. In this lesson, we're going to focus on the present verb. So I think Jeff is smart, and 저는 지수가 예쁘다고 생각해요. Now you guys can understand what this means too, right? It's basically the same pattern, except that the content of what I think is different, right? 지수가 예쁘다. 예쁘다, we learned that is a base adjective for pretty. So 지수 is pretty. I think 지수 is pretty. So that's the basis of it. And also, let's look at these two sentences. 한국어가 재미있다고 생각해요. So here the subject is removed, I, right? Because actually here as well, you don't necessarily have to write I, because it's obvious that I think like that, right? Because I'm the speaker. So here I just remove the subject. And this sentence, 고 생각해요. I think this sentence, right? 한국어, Korean is fun, right? 재미있다, interesting or fun. I think Korean is fun. And here as well, there's nothing difficult about it, right? 한국어가 어렵다고 생각해요. 어렵다. So here as well, the base adjective in its raw form, not conjugated form, is used. 어렵다. 한국어가 어렵다고 생각해요. We learned that 어렵다 means to be difficult. I think Korean is difficult. Sorry about the noise, slurping noise, guys. I had to have a sip of tea. And so that's how it goes with the adjective. However, where is the note? Oh, there it is. When the verb in this sentence is 이다, let's look at how it changes. So, 저는 제프가 천재라고 생각해요. 저는 제프가 천재라고 생각해요. So 저는 생각해요 is the same. I think. And you can see 제프가 천재라, right? What is 라 here? And when you look at the next sentence, 저는 지수가 미인이라고 생각해요. 저는 고 생각해요. I think 지수가 미인이라. So here, the actual sentence, like the actual content, is 제프가 천재이다. 제프가 천재이다. 이다 verb is, right? So Jeff is 천재. Do you guys know what 천재 is? 천재? 천재 means genius. So 제프가 genius, Jeff is genius 라고 생각해요 is the meaning of the sentence. But you can see, and let's look at this one first. 지수가, here the full sentence, if we take this out and make it in a full sentence, it becomes 지수가 미인이다. 미인이다. Do you guys remember what 미인 is? We use it when we are kind of like complimenting a woman who we think is beautiful or pretty. So 미인 is a Sino-Korean word, right? From 미인. This means beauty, this means person, but this is usually used, almost all the time, I guess, used for a woman. And for a guy, you can say 미남, but 미인 is mostly used for a woman. So 지수가 미인이다, 지수 is a beautiful woman, is the meaning of the sentence. And you can see that la is put here and 이라 is put here, right? And if the preceding noun doesn't have 받침, you can just put la before 고 생각해요. So 저는 제프가 천재라고 생각해요 means I think Jeff is genius. And 저는 지수가 미인이라, there's additional e here, right? It's because the preceding noun has 받침, right? So for the sake of the comfort of pronunciation, we put extra e here. So 미인이라고 생각해요. I think 지수 is a pretty woman. And next one. So if you understood these, then these two are not that difficult to understand. So 한국어가 재미있는 언어라고 생각해요. 한국어가 재미있는 언어라고 생각해요. So can you guys guess what this means? Okay, so in the meantime, I'm checking the live chat. As you guys all know, when I start the live, I don't immediately check the live chat because I get nervous at first. So I try to just focus on the lesson in the beginning part, and then I slowly check the live chat. Thank you guys so much for joining, by the way. I forgot to say thank you to everyone who joined. Okay, so I think Korean is 재미있는. Do you guys remember 재미있다? Yes, Korean is a fun language. So 언어, we learned last time that 언어 means a language, right? Language. So 재미있는 is the modifying form of 재미있다, which we're gonna cover again in the next part of the lesson, in the next part of this lesson. So please don't worry if you don't understand what a modifier is. But 재미있는 언어라고, here la is put because 언어 doesn't have 받침, right? So you can put la. 한국어가 재미있는 언어라고 생각해요. So be verb, right? There has to be verb in the full sentence. So that's why 라고 is put. And the second one. 한국어가 어려운 언어라고 생각해요. 어려운 언어. Why 라고 is used? 라고. I hope I don't sound rude, Math Quarty, but I just explained, right, that 라고 is put for be verb, right? Be verb, 이다 verb. So the full sentence is Jeff is noun, right? In that case, if the full sentence goes like this, then you put 라고, and if the preceding noun doesn't have 받침, you put extra e and say 이라고 생각해요. I hope that clears it up. And yes, this means I think Korean is a difficult language. 어려운 언어. Difficult language라고 생각해요. So I hope you guys are getting it. I really hope. And the next one is the the regular verb, the rest of the verbs other than adjective and 이다, right? And the verb in the sentence is just a regular verb, what happens is, oh, sorry guys, before we move on, in case you guys forget, you can write this rule down. So when the verb is an adjective, when the verb inside 라고 생각해요, 라고 생각해요 sentence is an adjective, you can write it in its base form. And when it's an 이다 verb, you can put 라고 after that noun. What is that noun, right? And then 이라고 after a noun if the noun has 받침, right? And okay, so now let's move on to the verb. The verb. If there is a verb in a sentence in 라고 생각해요, then what happens is, first, if the stem doesn't end in 받침, it ends in vowel, then 니은 받침 is put, and same 다 is put. So it's same with adjective in that it's almost a base form. However, you change that base form by putting 니은 받침 after a stem, or if the stem has 받침, you put 는. So let's apply this rule right away in the sentences here. 저는 제프가 지수를 좋아한다고 생각해요. 저는 고 생각해요, right? I think this sentence. 제프가 지수를 좋아한다고 생각해요. Jeff 한다. It looks familiar, right? 좋아하다 is the verb, the base verb that means to like, right? However, not the exact base form is used, right? Instead, you can see there is 니은 받침 added. So, the rule where you put 니은 받침 after a stem that doesn't have 받침 has been applied. So that's why it's 좋아한다. It's not 좋아하다. I think a lot of learners make a mistake in this part. It's 좋아한다. 저는 제프가 지수를 좋아한다고 생각해요. So can you guys guess what yes, you guys are correct. You guys are doing wonderful. I think Jeff likes 지수, right? I think Jeff likes 지수. And how about this one? 제프가 한국어를 잘한다고 생각해요. 제프가 한국어를 잘한다고 생각해요. 제프가 한국어를 잘한다. Again, there's subject omitted, right? There's subject removed, which is I, but you don't have to write it, right? 고 생각해요. 제프가 한국어를 yes, honey. Oh, sorry. Harini, yes, I have a bad eyesight. Harini came, yes. Yontae, right? I think Jeff is good at Korean. 제프가 한국어를. We learned that 잘하다 means to be good at something, and it's a verb. This is not an adjective. In English, to be good at something might sound like an adjective, but in Korean, 잘하다 is a verb that means to be good at something. So you have to put 니은 받침 to make it in a sentence with 고 생각해요. 저는 제프가 한국어를 잘한다고 생각해요. And next one. This might be a little bit tricky because it's longer than the other sentences that we just did. 선생님이 수학을 열심히 가르친다고 생각해요. 선생님이 수학을 열심히 가르친다고 생각해요. So first, we have to know what 가르치다 means, right? 가르치다 means to teach. 가르치다. And we learned what 열심히 is, right? 열심히. It's an adverb that means hard. So it has that nuance of doing the verb the best someone can, or doing the verb with like do hard work in doing the verb. That's what this verb means. So 열심히 가르친다고 생각해요. I think the teacher teaches math well. So I see that you wrote well, but 열심히 is more like teach it hard. Teach it with hard work, teach it with effort is what it means. If you want to say teach something well, you can say 잘 가르친다. 잘 is an adverb that means well. So if you want to say she teaches math well, you should go with 잘. But here it's 열심히. So it means hard. And 수학 means math. So teacher teaches math hard. Teacher does his best in teaching math. 고 생각해요. I think that, right? And next one. 그 가수가 노래를 잘 부른다고 생각해요. So this adverb appeared again. Do you remember what it means? We just learned it, right? Well, 그 가수가 노래를 잘 부른다고 생각해요. 그 가수, that 가수, singer, 그 가수가 노래를 잘 부른다. Do you guys remember how to say sing in Korean? To sing and to dance? So in English, there's only a verb, right? Saying only a verb would suffice. But in Korean, we learned that's not the case. We have to go with an object along with the verb. 노래를 부르다. So this is a verb and this is an object, noun that means song. And in Korean, if you want to say to sing, you should say 노래를 부르다. And for dance, you can say 춤을 추다. Again, this is a verb and this is a noun that means dance. And 추다 is a verb that means dance, but it has to go with the object, the noun, 춤을 추다. So, 그 가수가 노래를 잘 부른다. 노래를 잘 부른다 means sing well. And you can see that this adverb has been inserted between 노래 and 부르다, right? So, one thing to note here, guys, is that when you want to say sing well, it's kind of weird to say 잘 노래를 부르다 or 잘 춤을 추다. Instead, it sounds much better to put an adverb, whichever one it is, right before a verb. So in that case, if you want to put adverb in between, then you can separate these two and put it in between. 노래를 잘 부른다. Not 잘 노래를 부른다. I hope this makes sense. So, 그 가수가, that singer sings very well. 라고 생각해요. 다고 생각해요. I think that. And, I brought this sentence because I was concerned, maybe a bit, that you guys might be confused about this adjective. So, 노래를 부르다 means to sing, right? And do you know how to say, I am full? Full, as in not hungry. You can say, 배부르다. To be hungry is 배고프다, right? But to be full is 배부르다. So when you say, 저는 배가 안 부르다고 생각해요. Here, it's used as a base form, and there is no 니은 받침 added like this. And now we know why, right? Because this one is a verb, right? And this is an adjective verb, right? So that's why there is 부르다 here, but there is 니은 받침 here. Verb and adjective. I hope it... Liz, thank you so much for these classes. I really appreciate you taking time to patiently teach Korean. Keep up the good work. Oh, thank you so much, Liz. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. And so that's the difference. So I think 저는 배가 안 부르다고. 안 by adding an, it becomes a negation verb, right? Not. And there is another way to say a negation verb, which is 지 않다. But that one's what we're gonna learn probably next week. I'm planning to do that next week. So you don't have to worry about it right now. And next one, unless you wanna study it in advance. But for now, let's focus on 고 생각해 expression here. So 네가 책을 많이 읽는다고 생각해. 네가 책을 많이 읽는다고 생각해. 네가 책을 많이 고. It's not 그. It looks like 고 생각해. 네가 책을 많이 읽는다고 생각해. And here 읽는다 obviously comes from 읽다, right? Which means to read. But why is there 는 in between? It's because when a verb, the regular verb, is in the sentence, in 고 생각해요 sentence, then 는 is added if the stem has 받침, right? And the stem has 받침, right? So that's why 는 should be put. 네가 책을 많이 읽는다고 생각해. 읽는다고 생각해. 읽는다. It's pronounced like 읽는다 because of consonant assimilation between 기역 받침 and 니은 consonant. 읽는다. 네가 책을 많이 읽는다고 생각해. I think you read a lot of books. Yes, you guys are right. I think you read a lot of books. 많이. So here, some of you might be confused because in English, you say, I think you read a lot of books. Oh, actually in English, it's the same, right? You read books a lot. You can also say you read books a lot by making a lot into an adverb, right? So here as well, 많이 is an adverb, right? That comes from 많다, which means to be many, but with 많이, it becomes an adverb that means a lot. So I think you read books a lot. So this is an adverb that modifies the verb. But you can also say 네가 많은 책을 읽는다고 생각해. 네가 많은 책을 읽는다고 생각해. Many books. This is also fine, but saying 많이 읽는다 sounds a lot more natural. So that's why I put it this way. 네가 책을 많이 읽는다고 생각해. So that's... Oh, I brought more sentences actually. So 네가 많이 먹는다고. Oh, wait. I just checked the comment section. I mean the live chat session. But Ira C. I'm not sure why, but your comment keeps going into the held for review box. So I'm not sure why. I'm not really sure why. Maybe it's the font that you're using. I really don't know why, but please know that it's not me. Sometimes YouTube kind of puts certain comments. I don't know the rule. Certain comments to the held for review box. So I hope you don't misunderstand. And let's move on to like 3 more sentences. When a verb is used in 고 생각해 sentence, 네가 많이 먹는다고 생각해. And here as well, 많이 is used as an adverb to modify the verb 먹다, right? 네가 많이 먹는다. 네가 많이 먹는다고 생각해. So 먹다. It comes from 먹다. And 는 is put in between because 먹 is a stem that has 받침, right? So you should put extra 는. 네가 많이 먹는다고 생각해. I think you eat a lot. Yes, guys, I think you eat a lot. 고 생각해. And this one was pretty easy, right? And longer sentence. 저는 엄마가 떡볶이를 잘 만든다고 생각해요. 떡볶이를 잘 만든다고 생각해요. So far we can notice that 많이 and 잘 are frequently used adverbs, right? Adverbs that modify verb. 많이 means a lot and well means, 잘 means well. So here 잘 appeared again. 저는 엄마가 떡볶이를 잘 만든다고 생각해요. 떡볶이. I always mention this food in my class, probably because it's one of my favorite food. 떡볶이 is kind of like a spicy rice cake. So 저는 생각해요. I think 엄마가 떡볶이를 잘 만든다. Oh, there is a reason why I brought this verb and this verb actually. So, do you guys remember the irregular verb? So here, irregular verb also applies. So 만들다, 알다. So verbs like 만들다, 알다, 살다. Can you guys see what they have in common? It's 리을 받침, right? 리을 받침. In this case, 리을 받침 regular rule applies, and you have to replace 리을 받침 to 니은 받침. So the verbs whose stem have 리을 받침 are pretty tricky to remember or use correctly because irregular rule applies, right? So this is something that you need to note separately to remember how to use in a correct way. So here it's not 만들는다. According to the regular rule, it should be 만들는다, right? Because 는 has to be placed if the stem ends in 받침. However, irregular rule forces us to put 니은 받침, replace 리을 with 니은. So that's how 만들다 became 만든다. 엄마가 떡볶이를 잘 만든다. Well make. I think my mom makes 떡볶이 very well is the meaning of this sentence. 떡볶이를 잘 만든다고 생각해요. And same with this verb. 네가 나에 대해서 잘 안다. 고 생각해. 네가 나에 대해서 잘 안다고 생각해. Can you guys guess what this means? So 안다 here as well. Also, the real irregular rule applied. So you shouldn't say 알는다, but 안다. 잘 안다. So know well. And here is a kind of a particle, I would say. Yeah, particle. That we haven't learned yet, and that's 에 대해서. So it's okay if you don't know this word because we're gonna learn about this more specifically another time. But this means about. So, oh yes. Someone in the live chat said, I think I know well about you. Oh, sorry. I think I know well about you. No. Oh, sorry. That's actually incorrect. I think you know about me well is the correct answer. Yes. I think you know well about me because 네가 subject marking particle, right? You know well about me, right? 네가 나에 대해서 잘 안다고 생각해. I think you know well about me. And let's make a sentence of I think you don't know well about me. I think you don't know well about me. How do you say I think you don't know well about me? I'll give you some time to type, to think about it and to type. So 모른다 as well is not a base form, right? 모르다 is the base form. That means to not know, right? So 모르 doesn't have 받침, so that's why 니은 is put. So you can say 네가 나에 대해서 잘 모른다고 생각해. I don't think you know. I think you don't know well about me. I think you don't know well about me. Oh, yes. 네가 나에 대해서 잘 모른다고 생각해. Yes, correct, Angelina. Yes. And so that's how it works with 고 생각해요 expression. And before we move on to 것 같다, like here, I thought I prepared a small quiz that might be helpful to you. So I think Korean is actually, guys, do you guys think it's better if I give it out to you guys as homework? Or do you think it's better if I do it here? Let's do a quick poll, guys. Do you think it would be better to do it here or homework? If you think it's better to do it here, could you type here? Or you think homework is better, then could you type homework? Homework. Yontae said homework. Okay, we have one homework. Here. Homework. Here. Oh, okay, so we have mixed feedback. Okay, so I think we have the same amount of homework. And here. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. So maybe I will do it either for homework or at the end of the lesson, okay? After we do 갔다. So I will think about it as I go on, okay? So like for now, let's move on to 것 같다 expression because I think that would be better and kind of practice all together at the end of the lesson or for homework. So I think that's a better idea. So let's first move on to 것 같아요. So we just finished learning how to say 고 생각해요 in its present form. And like I told you guys, for past form and future form, it's going to get too complicated. So we're going to learn about it in another time. So let's move on to 것 같아요. So actually, I wrote it here, right? Okay, 것 같아요. So, how many of you guys I don't know how many of you guys took the 것 lesson, and it's I guess necessary to know how to change the sentence or a verb into a noun by combining it with 것 to understand this expression. And that's what we learned in our previous lesson, yesterday's live class. But for those of you who haven't attended that class, don't worry, we're going to look at it again, maybe for a review, right? It doesn't hurt to review, right? So first, so it can get a little bit difficult, but not a lot difficult, so you don't have to worry too much. So to break down first, what 것 같다 even mean? 같다 means to be same or to be like something else, right? 같다 is actually an adjective. So the primary meaning that 것 같다 has is it seems like the sentence. It seems like the sentence. And what 것 here is, so we learned in our previous lesson that 것 means a thing, right? Like a vague thing. We also in English, we say, the thing that I like is pizza, and that thing in that sentence is for something vague, right? And same in Korean. 것 corresponds to thing in English, and by combining 것 with the sentence, or maybe just the verb, it's okay too. By combining it with a sentence, the sentence becomes a noun, or a verb becomes a noun. So it means it seems that this is the meaning. It's the primary meaning of it. So if you look at these sentences, 제 아픈 것 같아요. 제 취한 거, maybe you can't see all of them. Maybe zoom out a bit to make it wider. Okay. 제 아픈 것 같아요. 제 취한 것 같아요. 제 노래 듣는 것 같아요. And one thing that I forgot to mention again is 것 kind of sounds like a textbook, right? So in spoken form, you can say 거 as well, but in writing form, 것 is more proper, is a more correct way. But you can also pronounce it 거 같다 or 것 같다. It doesn't matter. But since I wrote it, I try to write it in a correct way. So that's why I wrote 것. But in spoken form, it's okay to say 거. Okay? So 제 아픈 것 같아요. 제 취한 것 같아요. 제 노래 듣는 것 같아요. So you don't have to worry about the translation. We're going to get to it. But these three sentences mean it seems he is sick. It seems he is intoxicated. So 취하다 actually has a lot of meanings, but first of all, it means to be intoxicated, and second, it means to be drunk. So it means he seems to be drunk, and this means she seems to be listening to music. Again, don't worry about the breakdown or the translation. We're going to get back to it soon. But just for a general gist, in these sentences, 것 같아요 mean it seems. It seems. However, 것 같아요 can also be used to express your thought. Express your thought. So 것 같아요 is actually pretty much the same in meaning to 고 생각해요. I think that. And why we use 것 같다 is because I'm not sure about the exact reason, but definitely 것 같다 sounds less opinionated than 고 생각해요. There's nothing wrong with 고 생각해요, but to compare it with 고 생각해요, it definitely sounds less opinionated and more gentle and soft. So I don't know if you guys noticed it, but Koreans in general, including me, are quite reserved. And we, like culturally, I don't think Korea views outspokenness as a really good thing. So this could be a reserved way for us to express our opinion. So this is kind of a timid, maybe, way to express our opinion, but actually there's nothing really wrong with saying either one. You can use 고 생각해요 or 것 같다. It doesn't matter. I just wanted to let you guys know that slight different nuance in each phrase, but there's really nothing wrong. You can use either one that you're more used to or that you're more drawn to. So yes, I wanted to let you guys know about that. But in these three sentences, 것 같아요 is used to express your opinion. To use your opinion. So how it works is, it's the important part, right? That's the important part. 것, when combined with the subject, the sentence. Actually, if you guys have attended the previous class, then you guys know that verb is changed to a modifying form when it's combined with 것. So, We're gonna get into that. So for a regular verb, for like rest of the verbs other than adjective or ida verb, what you can do is you can just take out the stem. So this is an easy part. This is the easiest part among these three because you can just take out the stem. You don't have to change the form of the stem. Any stem, whether it has 받침 or no 받침, doesn't matter. You put 는, and then combine it with 것. So as you can see here, 많이 아는 것 같아요. Oh, this is an irregular verb, so this is an exception. But if you say 모르는 것 or 좋아하는 것. So here, obviously the verb 모르다 is combined with 는 것, right? So you just take out the stem, and then put 는 것. And here as well, 좋아하 comes from the base verb 좋아하다, right? So you just take out the stem and put 는 것. And that's it. But for adjective and ida verb, there is a slight difference in that. So we're going to practice more with the example sentences soon. So what happens is you put 니은 받침 after a stem. If the stem doesn't have 받침, and you put 은. You should not get this mixed up with 는. For adjective, you have to put 은 if the preceding noun has 받침. So let's practice with the example sentences so that you get the hang of how it works. So these are the same sentence that we practiced with 고 생각해요. 고 생각해요. So 저는 제프가 똑똑하다고 생각해요. Let's change it into 것 같다 expression. So 제프가 똑똑하다. 똑똑하다 here is an adjective, right? So you can say 저는 제프가 똑똑. And can you figure out, could you try to figure out the rest of the sentence here? 똑똑. And what can happen? Could you guys guess? If you guys keep forgetting, then you can always come back to this part. You can make a separate note yourself. So here, 똑똑하다 is an adjective, right? It's an adjective. So what you can do is you can put 니은 받침, right? Because the stem doesn't have 받침 here. 하, right? 하, it ends in 하. So you can say 저는 제프가 똑똑한 것 같아요. Yes, you guys are right. 저는 제프가 똑똑한 것. Yes, you guys are right. 것 같아요. 같아요. I think Jeff is smart. 것 같아요. Or it seems to me that Jeff is smart. And you can also just remove 저는 here, right? 지수가 예쁘다고 생각해요. And this one as well. This one is easy to apply, right? This one is not that hard to apply, right? 예쁘. 니은 받침 because it's an adjective. 예쁜 것 같아요. 예쁜 것 같아요. Right? It seems 지수 is pretty, or I think 지수 is pretty. And this one, 한국어가 재미있다고 생각해요. 재미있다 is also an adjective. It's also an adjective. So what do you guys think should happen? 한국어가 재미있. So according to the standard rule, it should be 재미있은. 재미있은, right? 은, because the stem has 받침. However, it's not 재미있은, it's 재미있는 because of irregular form of the adjectives that end in ita. So adjectives like 맛있다 or 재미있다, the adjectives that have 있다 at the end, when they become a modifier, they're modified this way. This way. Not in, they don't follow the regular rule, but they follow a different rule. So this is something that you have to note separately because it's part of the irregular rules. So 재미있는 것 같아요. Yes, you guys are right. 재미있는 것 같아요. Oh, so sorry guys, I'm not really good at pronouncing names, but someone in the live chat said it is 것 같아 or 것 같다. So 같다, we learned that 같다 is an adjective that means to be same and to be like something. To be like something. Let's write be so that you guys are not confused. So when put into a sentence, we have to conjugate it, right? And 같아요 is a conjugated form of 같다. Right? So to be used in a sentence, it has to be conjugated. So that's why 같다 became 같아요. 같아요 is a conjugated form of 같다. I hope that answers your question. Nas, I'll call you Nas. And the next one, 한국어가 어렵다고 생각해요. And this one as well. 한국어가, actually, this one is also an irregular form. 비읍 받침 irregular form. Do you guys remember the modifying form of 어렵다? If you guys remember, if one of you remember, could you type it in the live chat? 한국어가 것 같아요. What should be put in this blank? 어려운, yes, 어려운. 한국어가 어려운 것 같아요. I think while we were doing the conjunction class, I got confused while explaining. But let me kind of mention it, or let me do it again here, because now it's relevant to the content that we're learning, right? So 어렵다, or 아름답다, or there's less space here, not enough space. Let's unfold it. So 쉽다, or 귀엽다. There are many adjectives whose stem, as you look at here, whose stem ends in 비읍 받침, right? 비읍 받침. In this case, when they become a modifying form, so we learned that the verb in a sentence, when combined with verb, should be a modifying form, right? So that's why we are changing them in modifying form. So I'm mentioning that again, just in case you forgot. So how it works is it becomes 어려운, 아름다운. So what happens is, where is the red pen? 비읍 받침 gets deleted, and then you put 운. This is the irregular rule that the adjectives with 비읍 받침 follow. So 쉬운, 귀여운. And 맵다 as well. Yes, 맵다 becomes 매운. The same irregular rule is applied to 매운. Yes, 매운 김치. Yes, that's a good example. So difficult, beautiful, 쉽다, easy, 귀엽다, cute. So 한국어가 어려운 것 같아요 is the right way to say it. Not 어려운 것 같아요, right? 어려운 것 같아요 is correct. And same with 이다 verb. With 이다 verb as well, you just have to put 니은 받침. So the same sentences that we did with 라고 생각해요 part. So 저는 제프가 천재라고 생각해요 can be changed to 저는 제프가 천재. Do you guys what this means? Do you guys remember what this means? 천재, genius. 천재이다, right? 천재이다 is genius, but you put you put the stem, and then put 니은 받침. 천재인 것 같아요. 천재인 것 같아요. So what happens with ida verb is that ida verb's stem is e, right? So you take out the stem, and since e doesn't have 받침, you go with 니은 받침. So that's how it becomes in. So 저는 제프가 천재인 것 같아요. 천재인 것 같아요. I think Jeff is genius. And next one, 저는 지수가, and this one, could you guys do it by yourself? I think you can do it by yourself by now. 지수가, how should you write the blank? I am waiting for you guys' answer. It's same rule. 미인인 것 같아요. Yes. 미인이다, right? 미인이다, but you put 니은 받침. 미인인 것 같아요. So here it might be confusing because the same letter in are used, right? And it's because of this word being, but it can also be put after a word that doesn't have in it, like ono. So I'm pretty sure that you guys can do these parts to translate these sentences. Could you guys try? 한국어가 재미있는 언어라고 생각해요. How do you change it to 것 같아요? 것 같아요. 언어 should come, and then 언어이다, but in, right? 언어인 것 같아요. 한국어가 재미있는 언어인 것 같아요. And here as well, 한국어가 어려운 언어인 것 같아요. 언어인 것 같아요. Oh, okay. So there, like I said, I didn't mention today, right? So there is about 5 to 10 seconds delay in the stream. So the live chat is like 100% real time, but the stream, so I speak something and then maybe like 5 seconds or 10 seconds later, you guys hear it. So there is like around 10 seconds delay between you and me. So that's why I'm getting the reply late. But thank you for answering, guys. 언어인 것 같아요. So that's how it works. And let's move on to the verb. So for verb, you put stem, whether it has or doesn't have 받침, doesn't matter, you just put 는. So this one is quite not confusing. So 저는 제프가 지수를 좋아한다고 생각해요. How do you change it to 는 것 같아요? 저는 제프가 지수를 좋아하 and then 는 것 같아요 하는 것 같아요 는 것 같아요 하는 것 the base stem and 는 것, right? And next one, 제프가 한국어를 잘 we learned that 잘하다 means to be good at something, and it's considered a verb in Korean, right? 잘, 하, take out the stem, 는, 것, 같아요. 잘하는 것 같아요. 저는 제프가 한국어를 잘하는 것 같아요. And next one. 선생님이 수학을 열심히 가르친다고 생각해요. 열심히 가르친다고 생각해요. We learned this word, right? Teacher, 선생님이 수학을, math, 수학을 열심히, hard, as in like working hard or teaching hard or doing something hard, 가르친다고 생각해요. Wait. Oh, you're right. Oh, sorry, guys. I was confused a bit. Sorry. 치, 가르치, from 가르치다, which means to teach, right? 가르치는 것, 가르치는 것 같아요. 가르치는 것 같아요. So I'm pretty sure you guys already noticed that knowing the base form is very, very, very important. So knowing how to conjugate a base form into present form and past form and future form is important too. But the basis of all is the base form, right? So you should always, as learners, we should always remember the base form, right? We should never ignore base form just because it's not used in the plain, simple sentence, right? As the sentence gets more complex, the base form are used, right? And the stem is important. Actually, it's not the base form itself that is important. Sorry, I just made a mistake right there. So it's not the base form itself, but the stem in the base form is pretty important. So yes, the point is that the verb studying verbs is quite important. Yes, in studying Korean. Okay, so 그 가수가 노래를 잘 부르는 것 같아요. Yes, Angelina. Yes, and Math Cordy. Yes, you guys are going way ahead than me. So 잘 부르는 것 같아요. 잘 부르는 것 같아요. So 부르 and then 는. And here as well, we learned that this 부르다 with 배가 부르다 is an adjective, right? So here you should say 부르. Can you guess what should happen? Can you guess what should happen? 저는 배가 not 안 부르. What do you think should happen? Should it be 부른 or 부르는? 부른 or 부르는? 안 부른. Yes, bread. 저는 배가 안 부른 것 같아요. 안 부른 because this is an adjective, right? 저는 배가 안 부를 것 같아요. Sorry, 안 부른 것 같아요. I don't think I'm full. So you should. So I brought these two all together to compare what happens in verb and what happens in adjective. Verb, adjective. 부르는 것 같아요. 부른 것 같아요. Right? 부른 because it's an adjective, and 부르는 because it's a verb. And next one, 네가 책을 많이 읽는다고 생각해. 네가 책을 많이 읽는 것 같아. 읽는 것 같아, right? Because stem and then 는. 읽는 것 같다. You take out the stem, put 는, and say 것 같아요. And the last three sentences. 네가 많이 먹는다고 생각해. 네가 많이 So I'll skip the detailed translation because it's the sentences that we covered already, right? So 네가 많이 먹는 stem는 sorry. So I told you guys that the base form is important, but I haven't been writing the base form above these verbs, right? So I'm sorry about that. I'll make sure to write all the base verbs from now on. 먹다. So 먹 and then 는 것 같아. I think that you eat a lot, right? And here 만든다. Its base form is 만들다. 저는 엄마가 떡볶이를 잘 So here also the irregular rule applies to the stem that ends in 리을 받침. So what happens here is you delete 리을 받침, you delete it, and then put 는. So everything is the same, that you put 니은 받침, but for 리을, irregular form, you should take out 리을 받침 in the stem. So that's the irregular rule. 만드는 것 같아. 저는 엄마가 떡볶이를 잘 만드는 것 같아요. 잘 만드는 것 같아요. And let's apply the same irregular rule in this verb. 안다 comes from 알다, right? So, I is the base form, but what should happen with 리을 받침 stem is you delete 리을 and say 잘 아는 것 같아, right? 네가 나에 대해서, this one's a bit difficult, so let's go over it again. 네가 you about me, 나에 대해서 잘 well know 것 같아. I think you know well about me. 아는 것 같아 is the right sentence. And then, okay, so we just finished doing, we just covered, okay, let's go back to the, so we just finished learning how to say 고 생각해요 and 것 같아요 in present form. So let's look at the homework that I gave out to you in the description box briefly. So 생각을 표현하는 건 중요하다고 생각해요. 생각을 표현하는 건 중요하다고 생각해요. Has any of you done this homework? If you have, could you please type what you think it means, the first sentence? If you don't know, you can type I don't know. Okay. Leslie, you're welcome. Elliot, I think expressing your thoughts is important. Yes, that is true. Okay, so 생각을 표현하는 거. Thank you, by the way. Thank you, Elliot. And I haven't been checking the live chat for a while because I was mid class, but right now I'm catching up on it. All right. Okay, I hope everyone is following. Anyway, 생각을 표현하는 건 중요하다고 생각해요. So this is a bit difficult, but to understand this, so I brought this sentence on purpose so that we could kind of review what we learned in the previous lesson. So 표현하는 건 is an abbreviated form of 것은, right? So by looking at 표현하는 것, even if you haven't taken my previous class, we already learned what 표현하는 것 means, right? 표현하는 것 means, right? 표현하는 것. 표현하 is the base form, right? Obviously, because it's combined with 는, so we know that 표현하 is a verb. And 표현하다 means to express. It means to express. Express. So 표현하는 건, by combining with 는 건, express becomes a noun, right? So expressing. It becomes expressing. Then expressing what? Expressing the object, right? 생각. Expressing your 생각. And that is the subject. This all is the subject in a sentence. I mean, not the subject, but the sentence, right? The sentence. Sorry, guys. The subject is me, right? Because it's me who think that is, right? I think 생각을 표현하는 것은 중요하다고 생각해요. Expressing your thought is 중요하다. 중요하다. Do you guys remember what 중요하다 mean? 중요하다? Please discuss later about the group chat or whatever. Thank you, 깡인. 시원해요. 저 속이 시원해요. 저도 그 말 하고 싶었어요. I'm sorry, guys, but I would really appreciate it if the comment section isn't, comment section is relevant to the class. Sorry. I ask for your understanding because yeah. 중요하다. It means important. Important. It's not a verb, it's an adjective that means important. So 생각을 표현하는 것은 expressing your thought is important. 고 생각해요. I think like this, right? I think expressing your thought is important. 그래서 이 수업이 여러분에게 유익할 것 같아요. 유익할 것 같아요. So this is what we haven't learned yet. So this one has 리을 받침, right? This is a future form that we're going to learn later. But let's change it to a present form. So 유익하다 is a great word that you guys can remember. 유익하다, which means, so this is kind of let's zoom it in. So this is kind of a word that means both helpful and useful. Helpful and useful. 유익하다. I think it's a good word to remember because we use this word a lot. Instead of saying helpful and useful, 유용하다, 도움이 되다, we more like to say 유익하다 in Korean for some reason. So that's why I brought this word. So how do you say, I think this class will be helpful to you by using 것 같아요. Can you guys try to make a sentence yourself by using this expression? So we have to just change one thing in this sentence to say, I think this class is helpful. Is helpful. The present tense. Oh, by the way, I really like the idea of opening the chat between you guys because, you guys helping each other out would be like really helpful, right? So I'm really for that idea. So yes, that idea is really good. So I really hope you guys keep up. 유익한 것 같아요. 유익한 것 같아요. Yes, bread. Thank you for writing the full sentence. 그래서 이 수업이 여러분에게 유익한 것 같아요, right? Because 유익하다 is an adjective, right? Adjective. And when it's an adjective, we learned that 니은 받침 is put, right? If the stem doesn't have 받침. 유익한 것 같아요. 그래서 이 수업이 여러분에게 유익한 것 같아요. That's how you can do it, yes. So, wow, okay. I am really happy that a lot of you or some of you are getting it. And so I brought the first quiz and the second quiz. So obviously the first quiz is for 고 생각해요 expression. I brought first quiz to make it in 고 생각해요 form and second quiz to make it in 것 같아요 expression. But I think it is better if I give this out to you guys as homework. And then we're gonna, so here's my idea. I just spontaneously thought up this idea. So I'm not sure if you guys checked the live class schedule for this week. So 월요일, for Monday, we did, what did we do? It was just yesterday and I already forgot. No, not call. Yes, call, it's call, but I was going to write 기 and call. We learned this. And 화요일, Tuesday, today we learned the opinion, right? 고 생각해요 and 같아요. And for 수요일 and 목요일, there's going to be conjunction class. And then on Friday, there's going to be the review session. So we're going to review what we learned in the 4 previous days. But I think it's good that I give out homework in each day and do all the homework on Friday. What do you think of it? What do you think of that idea, guys? I think that would work better, I think, because you guys can take time to think about these sentences yourselves and processes yourself, and then during the class, if you have to get some help, right? So I think that's a way better idea. Great idea. Thank you, Elliot. Yante agrees. And homework for review class. Yes. So yes, these two will also be homework for a review class. So I will put this on a community post, right? So yes, you can also check out the homework that I gave out to you yesterday on Monday's class. I have it on my community post, so I will post the homeworks in the following days as well on community post. And I am thinking of making a website so that I can post all these files all together, like in one site, because I think like every time I try to post a community post, it's like, what if people are bothered, on their feed? Vicky always posts community posts, like it could be kind of bothering. So I thought it's more effective to post them all together in a website. But the problem is I am not good at web designing or anything that has to do with websites. So if you guys you don't have to be expert. If you guys know any of those things, like making a website thing, then could you please DM me or send me an email so that I can get some help. I would appreciate that. But if you don't, it's okay. But I'm trying to figure out the ways I can do that. But the point is, for this week, I will upload all the homework on the community post. Okay, so that was it for today's lesson. And I think I have to end the class now. And I will see you tomorrow at another live class that we have tomorrow. So thank you so much for joining, and I will see you tomorrow. So bye guys. I will end the stream in 10 seconds.